Hi, I'm Erick Schonfeld, co-editor of TechCrunch.
And I'm John Biggs, editor of Crunch Gear.
And welcome to this week's episode of Fly or Die. We're going to talk about the new iPad2 and some new companies that launched a demo, ecoATM and SocialEyes.
Now, do you have a iPad2? Did you bring yours?
Yeah, I have one here, but it's in the old case.
Yeah, obviously.
It's in the old case. I got a special one that they delivered to me.
So what do you think about all the new features that this thing has?
Well, you know, if you're going to buy a new iPad, if you don't have an iPad already, it's kind of obvious, right?
Yeah.
It's thinner. It's a third thinner. It's got front-facing and back-facing cameras, and it's a unibody design. And so it's the same price, so it's kind of a no-brainer, right?
So it's basically the old iPad. They've just upgraded it slightly, and the old iPads are actually going for much cheaper now. So you could get an old iPad.
That's true. Although I tweeted out that I have two iPads, but I might need to get an iPad too.
Well, I think there's a trade-in program you can give both of those in, and you get it too.
Yeah, I think that's through the ecoATM that we're going to be talking about later.
So are you excited about it?
I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, you know, they just keep on being one step ahead or 10 steps ahead of the competition. I mean, we talked about the Zoom tablet, which is the Android honeycomb tablet in the last show. And that's really sort of the best tablet, the Android tablet that's up against it. And it's like no competition. I think you even brought yours.
Yeah,
and it's so heavy. I mean, it's even heavier than this.
It's not heavy. It's the same thing. It's a little bit denser. It's just a strange thing. I mean, as Jobs said, the other people are flummoxed. They don't know how to make a good media consumption and production tablet with GarageBand, with new iMovie. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff with this new iPad, and nobody knows how to do the same thing using off-the-shelf components that they have access to.
Right.
I mean, Apple has this locked down. The tablet market's locked down for them. The only thing that they could do wrong is maybe just keep producing the same thing over and over again without iterative improvements. I'm saying fly on this one, and I'm probably going to say fly on the next one and fly until... Yeah,
it's an obvious fly. I mean, people are already... they're already projecting that they're going to do 10 million per quarter.
I'm lining up actually tomorrow to get
You're
one.
lining up, yeah. But the question really is, there are still a few things missing, right? I mean, you know what's going to kill the iPad 2? The iPad 3, right? which may be coming in September, right? And what are the things that the iPad 2 is missing? It's missing the Retina display that you have on the iPhone 4. I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for my two iPads are fine until I get a Retina display. That's a
it's the cutoff.
That's a leap in improvement, right, in the whole experience. It also doesn't have wireless syncing. I mean, I actually almost never sync my iPad because I don't like fooling around with the cables.
You don't like plugging it in?
Takes too much time. But if it was done wirelessly in the background, I would totally do that. Those two things would make me buy another one.
Yeah, people are missing like an SD card slot. There's all kinds of stuff that needs to go on. 4G, for example. We'll see what happens.
What do you think about this whole positioning that Apple has, that it's post-PC, it's not speeds and feeds. You shouldn't be comparing it like the old PCs, but it's really the whole experience.
I mean, that's obviously very convenient for them because their PCs come in basically vanilla flavors. You buy the PC, you have slight incremental increases in specs, but it's not like you're sitting down and you're going to be building a gaming PC out of Apple parts. That's almost impossible.
But you can't argue against the total experience. You buy these things for the apps, right? And there's 65,000 apps on the iPad today, and there's less than 100 Android-specific honeycomb apps, right?
No, there's 16 of them right now.
There's 16.
Well, okay, so let's say right now, as of this recording, we're probably about 40 now.
Right, so kind of why, so it's easy to say now, why bother? The question is, a year from now, how many are there going to be?
Yeah, we'll see. Right. Android still has its legs under it.
Okay, so we both give the iPad 2 a fly, not a big surprise there. Let's switch over to some of these new companies and products that launched at demo this week. ecoATM is it's an ATM
microwave,
unit.
Right?
No, it's not a microwave. It's a kiosk that you go and you bring your old electronic equipment, your old cell phones and other devices, and it scans it and it figures out what it is, and it compares it to a database and gives you a price that it'll give you for turning it in, and then it recycles it for you, and you can then choose to either get that as cash or to or to give it away to charity.
Sure.
Which I think is a great idea. I mean, I have just a drawer full of old, cell phones and other old computers that I just don't know where to take them.
I mean, I think it's an interesting idea as well, but there are other services out there. There's something called Gazelle, and then there's basically just standard recycling systems. I guess you get a little bit of cash, but if you put an old phone in there, you're gonna get at best like a couple dollars, and I mean, if it's a brand new phone, they could feasibly resell it. My concern is that the point of sale and those little envelopes that you get in phones when you buy phones now, where you just stick your old phone in there and just send it out. I think those are going to be much more convenient to go to the Verizon store when you buy your new phone, give them your old phone, and you're done. Or trade-in deals. I think a lot of carriers are going to start doing that. You'll have a trade-in deal, say, come re-up with us, turn in your phone for $50.
And are you giving this a fly or a die?
I'm saying that as a standalone kiosk, it's sort of a die. I'm worried that there's going to be an initial run on this thing, and then people don't upgrade phones. Maybe every 18 months, let's say, they upgrade their phone.
You're completely wrong on this one. This is a fly. I'm telling you.
Okay, you live out in the country, in the suburbs.
How often do you, even when you go to get your new phone, maybe you have your old phone with you, but you're still attached to it. So you're not ready at that point really to give it up.
I mean, you could turn in this phone. You could turn in this phone for X amount of dollars. And
I could, but then what would my children play with?
Yes, exactly. But then you're going to run out of phones. Eventually, you're going to hit the ceiling.
No, I have boxes of.
Then
this
just
stuff.
Bring them all in at once. It's not like Coinstar where you're always getting coins.
Well, Coinstar actually is an investor.
Yeah, I know. I knew that.
Oh, you did. I think the big question is the economics of it. How much do these things cost, and what's the cost to operate them, and can they do so profitably at scale? If they can do that, it's a no-brainer, because if this was at a Best Buy or a Target near me, I would.
I think it's a cool idea. I'm just worried about the having a physical kiosk. We'll see what happens.
Right. Oh, and who do we have here?
Oh, he's.
Hi, Mark Bowles. I'm the founder of ecoATM.
You're one of the founders. And, welcome to our show.
Erick's right and John's wrong.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
So tell
John's
us a little bit about
the one, and the economics are not intuitive to folks like gadget guys like us who buy lots of new stuff and would never think about buying a used phone. But in fact, there's a really starved worldwide channel for all the phones that you can collect, and they're actually it's quite profitable and quite big. ABI research puts it at about $5 billion, but that's artificially low because it's just totally under served.
So are you recycling the phones, or are you repurposing them and giving them to other consumers?
75% of what we collect actually finds a life as a second life as a phone. Only 25% of it ends up in materials reclamation. And we have, in just about a year with about 10 kiosks in the field, we have paid out hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. I won't talk about my margin, but I do pretty good. And we have served tens of thousands of customers, collected over 50,000 devices, and the oldest kiosks in the field are still ramping, so we don't know where the end is.
But can you tell us a little bit about the economics? So how much does one of these kiosks cost? And then are you sharing that revenue with the retailer, just like a Coinstar machine? And how many devices do you need per week to break even or something?
And at what point do you run out of devices?
Yeah, so to the last question there, so 150 million new phones are retired every year, so it replenishes pretty quickly. In fact, at a really comparable rate to the way coins are collected. If you think about your drawer at home, you have a pile of phones about this big, and you have a pile of coins about that big, and in fact, in terms of density and value, they're about the same. And the average phone now is retired at about 13 or 14 months, and the value is about the same as the way coins collect. So 150 million phones per year refreshes, and we don't have to collect very many of those to have a really successful business model.
So you're doing just phones?
We're doing phones, MP3s. We're expanding to collect other portable devices first.
iPads?
Video
can
games,
I turn
things
my
like
iPad
that.
in to
Those
get an
iPad
iPad 2?
ones that are going to come in because of the iPad 2s, we're going to collect those as well. And so we'll expand to other categories as we grow.
And on average, what's the range of prices that you're giving for, sort of higher end phones like an iPhone or an
Yeah,
Android?
so an iPhone 4 you can collect over $300 for one that's in good shape.
Wow.
Even an original iPhone, the very first iPhone, we still pay in the range of $75 for one of those, depending on the condition. So the average customer walks away with 25 or $30 when they visit.
Okay. And then what about the volume that you're seeing, with these kiosks? Because I would think on a per consumer basis, I'll say I'd see the kiosk, and the next time I come, I bring all my phones, and then that would be it, right? Until like 2 or 3 years down the line. But is there just so many of these things in people's drawers that there's that much untapped demand?
Yeah, absolutely. There's, by many estimates, there's over 1 billion cell phones already collected in our drawers that are worth about $5 billion in aggregate value. And then every year, obviously, they get older and they're not worth much. But every year we retire another $5 billion worth. It just goes into the drawers. So our objective is to intercept those through convenience, and through immediate financial incentive, and also because we erase your data.
Okay.
And earlier, John was talking about the mail-in bags and online methods and
what's your
eBay,
response to that?
Craigslist. All that stuff has been around for 10 years, and it really hasn't made much of a dent in the problem. And what was missing was convenience, so it's in your normal everyday path, and then immediate financial incentive. You get the cash now, and then we handle your data as well. And like I said, it's not an experiment. It actually works. It's out there, and the performance is off the charts.
All right, we'll look for one then.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us on this episode. I'll be looking for one in my local,
Stu Leonard's?
Stu Leonard's? Okay, thank you for joining us.
We'll find the Stu Leonard's and we'll put one there.
So what do we have next?
Okay, our last product is SocialEyes, which also launched this week, and it is a many-to-many video chat product that you log into Facebook, and this is a video of it. So you log into Facebook, and then anyone of your Facebook friends who are online, you get a little green presence button, just like you do on your chat, and then you can do instant video chat with them. And
you can send videos, embed videos into the stream.
So if they're not online, then you can record a video and then send it. So it's kind of like, it's a little bit like a mix between chat roulette and what Seismic used to be, which is sort of recorded video, except for it gets rid of the penis problem by you can only talk to your friends.
For some it was a problem. For some it was a problem.
For some it was a problem. Yeah.
I actually got a real big kick out of it. I mean, I think video chat's on its way up. I think FaceTime is a popular thing. Video, Skype is actually very, very popular. You don't like video chat that well, right?
I like it when it's appropriate. I just don't think it's not a default communication mode for me, at least. And I'm going to give this. I think it's a great product, and I think that they've done a really great job with it. There's chat. You can bring in videos and photos and all different types of embeds. But I think I'm going to give it a die, just because I think that the space is really hard and really difficult, and many companies have tried, sort of multiple video chat, and not necessarily failed, but it appeals to a niche audience. It appeals to.
Well, what if they sold it? What if they sold it to Facebook? That might work, and they could just embed it right into Facebook.
Well, then, but you know what? Facebook buys these technologies, and then they close the product, and then they start something else. That would be, in my mind, that would be a die as well, unless they kept the product.
I get a kick out of video chat, so I'm giving it a fly.
You're giving it a fly. Okay, well, that's our episode this week. Tune in next week when we'll have 2 or 3 more products.